What is hybrid SEO? So this is a question we're getting a lot at the moment because it's kind of a new phrase and something that we've started using ourselves quite often in our social media posting and as an idea to, I guess, differentiate from normal SEO. So if you Google what is hybrid SEO, you'll get a few responses down there. There's something from me only 3 days ago, which in itself is quite an interesting example of what hybrid SEO is. That is a Substack post on the first page of Google very quickly, whereas years ago that would never happen. So it's just demonstrating that hybrid SEO looks at kind of non-traditional things in the space of the SEO world to get results for you. I'm just going to read you out this little quote from my article, which is hybrid SEO is beating your competitors fast and affordably by reverse engineering their SEO and doing only what it takes to win. So that last phrase is really important because if you've been around the internet for a while or ranking websites, that sort of stuff, you will have heard things like, oh, there's 200 ranking factors and there's all these things you've got to do to rank really well on Google. There's all these technical things and all this content you've got to do and all these social signals and all of these backlinks. What we forget is that Google really is kind of like a leaderboard, which means that you only need to beat the other people competing for your phrases to win. So if you're an electrician in a suburb of New York, you only have to beat the other electricians in that suburb of New York to rank really well. You don't need SEO perfection to win. So hybrid SEO for us as a small, nimble agency is something we now talk about with people because we realize that you don't need to have the perfect plan to win. You just need to beat your opposition. So if we click on that link of mine and look at what we wrote just the other day, we talk a bit more about it. And online, there are other people who have a different twist on what hybrid SEO is. But pretty much they all talk about the fact that you need to identify what I've called the top dog in your niche, which is that top competitor for your phrase or thing you want to win for. And then you have to figure out what you need to do to beat them and then do that. Okay, so you might realize that for your niche, your best person, you just need to get better backlinks than them, and that's it. You might not have to do anything on the technical side of the website to beat them because maybe their website's not very good technically, but they've got some really good backlinks. Or maybe you might realize that you need to do social media content, lots of Q&A around your topics to send signals to Google and also to AI search to beat that person. We have actually found that ChatGPT is getting really good at telling you what you need to do. I'll shoot a more video about this later down the line. But it might be as simple as knowing what your bullseye phrase is or the main phrase you want to win on Google. Focus on that. Who's winning that now? And then just go to ChatGPT to say, how do I reverse engineer what those guys are doing so I can overtake them, and just focusing on that stuff. It's kind of the 80-20 rule. You know that 20% of your inputs will give you 80% of your outputs in most things. And just focusing on the important stuff. Why sign up for a $5,000 per month SEO package, which includes a whole bunch of content that you don't need? Okay, so we're just focusing on the result, beating the right person, and just doing what it takes to win. So if we go back one step, just going to rephrase that I wrote the other day, which is beating your competitors by reverse engineering their SEO and only doing what it takes to win. And again, you've got to understand what is the main phrase you need to win and who is your, what we call the top dog in your niche, and just doing those things. So hopefully that breaks down what hybrid SEO is. We aren't the only people using that phrase. You'll see it popping up around the place, and it might mean different things to different people. For us, we have recognized that for some clients, the things that we're doing for them now are very different to what we were doing 3 years ago. 3 years ago, SEO was a very formulaic thing. There was a fairly set recipe to success that you would follow and win. But most of that has just been blown apart with the advent of AI and people figuring things out at a faster rate because of that. So this hybrid SEO is a phrase that we're using more and more. And hopefully that explains what it is. If you need to ask me anything, just comment below. Happy to help you and help you on your journey. Cheers. Bye.